I'm just a vessel of the Holy Spirit like anybody else.
So we've been officially married for 11 years now.
Yay.
I lost my voice for the second time in a month. I don't know what's causing this. I'm going with allergies for now. So forgive me and my weird voice.
So we're going to rate our years of marriage with all 11.
Let's first go through like a summary or like a title for each year, and then we'll put them in order. None of them were bad though.
Year 1. It's a summary title of it.
Chaos. Year 1 was like change after change after change after change. We moved in with you, and then we moved to school, and then we moved to my brother's, and then we moved to my mom's.
Yeah.
Oh no, and then we moved to our house. I moved 5 times.
Wow.
We didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea how to be married.
No idea what life was. We didn't know how to adult at all.
No. Year 2, I feel like we thought we knew what we were doing. Like, you know how like middle schoolers will be like I totally got this, and they absolutely know nothing at all about life.
They think they're adults.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of what year 2 was like our middle school years of where like we thought we knew what we were doing because we owned a house and we were married and we had a dog and we were talking about having a kid. Yeah, so we were like, there are no other 21-year-olds who have all this stuff. And then year 3 was when we had Jacob.
Yeah.
He was really good during the day, but he just didn't sleep ever.
Year 3, I would call tired.
Yeah, just tired for a whole year.
Tired.
And then year 4 was when I was past the postpartum depression and like really just was able to enjoy being a mom. And I feel like we were starting to understand each other a little bit better.
I had started back at school.
Oh yeah. We both remembered how to have goals, because that's when I started writing my screenplay, the first screenplay. And you were back in school, and we were focused on like more than just surviving.
But generally speaking, things worked a lot better.
They did, yeah. So that would be like the setting goals year. And then the year 5 was when we went back to having 2 cars. Was that year?
Oh yeah, I got a new car.
I was working at GameStop.
You were working at GameStop. I changed jobs again. I was working 5 days a week, like 9 to 5 shift. Very, very easy kind of job.
I love
I was home for dinner every night. It was definitely...
But I wasn't, because I was working a lot of evenings.
Right. There were a lot of days that when you worked, we would show up at the GameStop parking lot.
Yeah. Move the kid from my car to his car.
Right.
That was sad. That was hard. So there were a lot of good things about that year because we had more money because I was working, but we didn't spend a whole lot of time together, which was difficult. So we'll call that the bittersweet year.
Okay.
And then in year 6, Gwen was born.
Yep.
Which was wonderful. She was a really good baby.
We had to build an extra room in the house because our house was too small, and we were looking at trying to sell it, and that kind of created some frustration with us because the house was too small for us. But
and when I was pregnant, I quit my job at GameStop, so we didn't have as much money anymore. And so that was a bit frustrating because we were outgrowing the house, but we didn't have the money to go anywhere.
Right.
So
that was very much of a fat guy in a little coat kind of year.
So we'll call that growing pains. The growing pains year.
Okay.
I got a job again. I feel like that's been a pattern throughout our entire marriage, is like we get frustrated that we have no money, so I get a job, and then we get frustrated that we're not spending enough time together, so I quit my job, and then we have no money, so I get a job, and then we're not together, so I quit my job.
I started at the residential treatment facility,
Yes.
which was great and terrible.
I hated it.
You hated it at first?
I hated it. Yeah, it took a long time. It was over 2 years before I finally, decided it was a good thing.
Really? And also, I went back to working shift work where sometimes I would work in the mornings,
That's right.
sometimes I was working in the evenings, and I also could get stuck and have to just stay overnight because it was a 24/7 place for teenagers.
Yeah, which was really difficult because I was home alone with 2 kids now. In the end, it was the right thing to do, but at
Yeah.
the time I was very resentful and I was angry at God because he had applied for so many other positions and nobody would hire him. Nobody except for this one place that I thought was going to be terrible. And there was a lot of really difficult things about that job.
Yeah.
Later on, I found out there were some good things, but at the time, it was really difficult to live through. Year 8 is when I started helping direct the musicals at the high school. And that first year, we did a musical called My Favorite Year. And for years since that, I called that year my favorite year because for a while I got stuck in that rut of putting everybody else's needs and wants ahead of my own and not acting like I mattered at all. And so when I started doing the musical, it was something that I wanted to do because I enjoy it. And so that was the first thing that happened in that year that kind of set a course for how the rest of the things would go.
That was the year I started at Liberty, started taking classes, and
That's right.
changed shifts, so I was able to go to church every Sunday instead of working Sunday morning. I only worked in the morning on Fridays, so we had consistent time with each other and with friends. And
Yeah.
so I feel like spiritually I grew a whole lot that year too.
Yeah, and because I was so much more positive about life, I had the energy to start a tradition with the kids that he would come to church with us and then he'd go to work in the afternoon and I would make pizza for dinner and the kids and I would watch a movie. And that's something that we still do. We've kept that tradition even though he doesn't, well, I guess he still works on Sundays. But
Yeah.
even though he's home in the evenings on Sundays, that's something that we still do. I was a lot more confident and comfortable in myself as a person, in my skills as an adult, and I just really feel like that's when I started to figure out who I wanted to be. Year 9,
2016.
Jacob started at BCCS.
Jacob started at BCCS and I started teaching. I started at the school.
That was a good year because we started to really start to achieve some things. We were a lot more grounded spiritually. Our kid was going to Christian school, which was really good for him.
Yeah.
He was growing and learning so much.
My hours were daytime every day. I had weekends always off. It was a lot easier.
It was heaven.
It was very
That's
nice.
what we've always wanted. It's
Yeah.
funny, sometimes we say that we were born at the wrong time because we have a very old school mindset about family. It was just a really comfortable year, I think.
Yeah.
And then year 10,
We sold our house.
which was amazing because it had been 4 years that we had wanted to sell that house. But we had to sell it without somewhere else to go.
Yeah.
And so we had to move into his parents' basement, into his old teenager bedroom. But luckily it was only 2 months before we found this. I started school
Yes,
that year too.
you started school and I was doing my master's.
We used to try to go out on a date every month, once a month, but because we were so busy, we had what he called due date nights, where we would sit and we'd make tea and we'd sit and we'd do our homework together on Thursdays because everything was due Thursday at midnight. So we had that designated time that even though we were doing schoolwork, at least we were together, and so we felt I don't know, it made it a lot more fun.
Yeah.
He finished 2 full semesters before I did. with my associate's degree. And so it was not as much fun when we weren't doing it together.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that was like, you know, getting stuff done year.
Yeah.
We like accomplished things. Was the year that you became a pastor.
And off to work. My first day of my new job.
We got the call that this church needed a pastor, and we went up there as like a, you know, oh, you just need somebody to teach.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything just like clicked and went so fast.
Right.
I finished school. We'll call this the year of new beginnings.
The year of new beginnings.
All right, so we've got all 11 years now. We've got chaos, middle school, tired, setting goals, bittersweet, growing pains, miscommunication, my favorite year of comfort, getting stuff done, and new beginnings. I almost feel
I
it
think the
almost
worst
goes in order of the years, almost.
I think the worst is probably tired. And then year 1 was chaos. Year 7 was miscommunication. Year 5 was bittersweet. Year 6 was growing pains. Year 2 was middle school. Year 4 was setting goals. Year 10 was getting stuff done. Year 9 was comfort. And then year 8 and 11, my favorite year and year of new beginnings, are tied for 10. Right?
Yeah. It was actually really fun to like think back on the memories and to like name each year.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that we did that.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And if you think that was fun, it's also fun to like this video.
And if you don't want to miss out on any fun, you should subscribe.
That's right. Just fake it.
Don't make the noise.
I faked it. Because when we got married at 20, looking at the pictures now at 31, I think, wow, we were a couple of babies.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's totally great.
I'm happy we've been married for 11 years.
Me too.
I love it.
I love you.
I love you too.